What is up, Allie G Show fam? Welcome back to another track of the pod. As you all know, this podcast lives at the intersection of movement and mindset, the highs, the lows, the comeback stories, the training cycles, and all the start lines that change us. I'm super excited to share that today's guest is Justin Kaufy, better known as Kaufy, a running coach, endurance athlete, and just an all-around amazing human being who's passionate about helping runners become stronger, smarter, and more confident athletes. We talk about Justin's journey into coaching, the lessons he's learned through marathons, ultras, Ironmans, all of the things in between, and what it really takes to train both your body and your mind, and why consistency will always beat perfection. So lace up, turn up the volume, and let's get into it. Justin Kaufy, welcome to the Allie G Show. I'm so happy you're here. We just recently connected on Instagram through a mutual friend, Vin Kennedy, and I already know it's going to be a great episode based on our pre-show. So welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, shout out to Vin. He's definitely a beast. The $1 Ultra was very exciting for him to be a part of and win, and then for us to get connected. I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. So I love
cool
stuff like this. Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it. Well, I am super, super excited to have you here. And before we jump into all of the things that you are involved in, because we have a lot to talk about, can you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are and where you're from and what you do outside of running and coaching?
Oh yeah. So outside of running and coaching, first I'm Kaufy or Justin. Obviously in New York, I've been in marketing for 8 years. So I market a lot of artists, plastic surgeons. I was doing that and then I jumped into coaching just because it was more fulfilling for me. Obviously, doing marketing for 8 years and dropping out of college and starting your own business and having employees and having all these clients, like you get to a point where, you do it for the money and then you don't really do it for the money. It has to be like more fulfilling. And you're like, what do I actually enjoy that has been a part of my life for like ever? And then looking at fitness when I was like super obese when I was like 13 years old, I was like, I love fitness. It's like a backbone of everything I've done. So all of the fitness I've gained through like bodybuilding and all the discipline I've taken into all relationships and work and everything like that. It's cliche, but it's true. And then from there, I just got into coaching. I mean, I've always admired all of the coaches I've worked with because they're just cream of the crop, top of the level. I mean, you learn so much. And then for me, it's like with TikTok and Instagram and just posting one video a day on TikTok and just giving out free information, like that is so fulfilling for me. So if I could do that, but times 10 to like actual people one-on-one and get better advice, that kind of stuff, that's kind of what led me into coaching. And then obviously with all the Ironmans, marathons, ultras, and what I'm continuously pushing and not just looking at it from like a training standpoint, but also like a science-based standpoint and trial and error on myself and like whether it's dialing in blood work or sodium loss and looking at all these products and really seeing what like the pros are doing, like what I'm doing, and then just giving that to athletes that don't even have the expertise or don't even know, like that's the most fulfilling thing. So I've transitioned as much as I own my company of marketing, transitioning out of it slowly, kind of like an exit. And then whether I sell it, whether I just keep X amount of clients because it's, subscription based like Netflix, Amazon, it's kind of how I looked at that business when I wanted to start my company. And was like, I hate to say it, it's like when I started my company, I was dead broke and I was like, what's going to get me rich? And looking at all these business models, I was like subscription based. And it's not like $14.99, but X amount of subscriptions times whatever, that's very lucrative. So that's kind of like how I climbed up in X, Y, and Z. And then, transitioning out and then maybe I'll keep some, but other than that, coaching full time. And I do want to open up facilities. And even though I'm in New York City, I love New York City. I hate to say this, I will be moving out west because that is just where I want to own property. That is where I want to have like training facilities. That is where I want to like be in that environment where like here, if you want to be an ultra runner and you look at an oak tree, your pod is so small, right? You're not going to be the best ultra runner ever. So you've got to go to the environment. So the transition will probably be in the next 1 to 2 years out west. And then same with marketing and then full-time coaching of like absolutely going in for it. But I don't think I'm going to be a coach where it's like you have assistant coaches. I just want to be like that person and, train X amount of clients, keep it very small, keep it very tight, keep it people that are really aiming for, X, which X could be like a 15-hour 100 miler or a 6-hour 50 miler or something very elite, So that's kind of like the whole journey leading into coaching and then kind of a little bit about me, where I'm from and transitioning out of New York City as much as I hate to say it, but it's life.
Love it. I know. I
Yeah.
mean, we literally just talked about it. I'm like, I hope I'm there in a year. And now you're going to move
Yeah.
out west. Do you have any plans on where? I mean, you don't have to share if you're not comfortable,
Yeah,
but
California, Colorado. I'm looking at Colorado
nice.
Springs, Durango, and then San Diego for me would be big, or Santa Barbara. But I'm at an age where it's like, am I going to dump all my money into property and own? I like to actually, aside from running, money conversation. I know I shouldn't talk about it, but I like to just be as liquid as possible and invest a lot.
Hmm.
And I don't
Hmm.
see the upside of putting X amount of money into a property for X amount of, like for me, it's just like I'd rather
Totally.
have that
Totally.
freedom to, hey, I don't really like it here. I'm out of here. Yeah, like I don't know yet. So those three, I just don't like the cold. So that's why I'm leaning towards San Diego. But again, I need elevation if I really want to compete. It's like that's basically a free EPO for,
Oh,
performers and
for
stuff.
sure.
So yeah, that's kind of where New York City, I know we love it and we've talked about it. It's just tough, like
I
wintertime,
know.
it's elevation. You got to go upstate or you got to go all the way to Jersey. It's like, it is what it is. So it's
Yeah.
just the next steps, I guess.
No, for sure. Well, that's really cool. I have so many questions about, well, and we'll get into it about your coaching style and kind of playing off what you just said. But before we get into all of that, I would love to kind of go all the way back before the coaching and before you actually were doing ultras and Ironmans. What was the timeline of when running first entered your life, and when did it go from something you just kind of did to something you were like, I want to be more competitive in this?
That's a good question. So my first Ironman was 2020. I would not consider myself a runner at all. I trained 6 months for that race. I ran 20 miles a week. I was injured all the time. I was like, my heart rate was absolutely jacked out of the world. I was like, what the fuck? Excuse
Yeah.
me for cursing. I guess I'm
You
just going to
can.
curse. Yeah,
It's
okay,
totally
cool.
cool.
Thank God. I'm going to swear
Permission.
like 24/7. Um,
Me too. So you're in great company.
Fire. This year is the first year that I went all in, like with running.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, I did my first ultra. So I did my first ultra in 2023, but I did it because I was forced to, because I was coming out of like a drug addiction and I had really no choice of like, I need to go to rehab or I need to find the next thing that's going to get me X amount of high. So I ran 40, 50 miles a week, did my first 50 miler and just kind of like sat there and was like, yeah, whatever, let's lift, let's kind of be a bodybuilder. And then last year was when I went all in with the 100-mile weeks. So,
Hmm.
and then this year is when I started doing one ultra every month and I started placing decently well, like 40 minutes away from like an elite 50-mile time, which in 2 years I'm going to get, it's just a matter of consistency and,
Totally.
and doing it. But this year, as I showed up to races, because I love to compete, I wasn't getting nervous. I was like, let's do this. I'm looking at my training with my coach and I'm like, I'm more than prepared. Like this is the year where I'm like, it's all in or nothing for the next 7 years. So
Hmm.
last year was like the first 100-mile week year where I saw the biggest benefits I've ever seen because we could talk about volume all we want. And I truly believe it. And if volume wasn't the answer, all these pros would be at 30 miles a week. Like there's a reason some of them are at 140 or 120 or 100. And they're
Hmm.
doing it for years on end. They're not just doing it for 1 year. So compound what I'm doing for 4 years. Yes, we are genetically limited X, Y, and Z, but where's your ceiling at? So that's the part about being an athlete is to chase that and be consistent. But this is the year where I've talked to my coach and I'm like, every professional race, Black Canyon, it's hard as crap. Like I'm not the
Yeah.
fastest, like I'm not the most durable. Like everyone has their talent in the actual space, whether you're in marathons, Ironmans, ultras, but it's anybody's race. It's not like somebody shows up and they win every single time. Like, so nobody knows what can happen out there. And that's why we train so much and kind of go into that pain cave of like, what are we actually capable of? So this is the
Hmm.
year and the years to come where it's like, yeah, I'm going to do every major race out there. I'm going to train 140-mile weeks. I'm going to, I haven't like get a nutritionist, take care of my recovery. Everything is dialed to a T. And some people can be
Hmm.
like, it's not that serious. But then again, it's like, this is what I love. This is my life. I work, I run, I read books, I write books. Like I'm pretty much a nerd outside of running. So it's like, that's all I'm doing. And that's all I care about. So yeah, that's pretty much, this is the year where it's like, make or break everything going all in. So before that, I
Love it.
wouldn't even consider, when you're running in the Ironmans, no offense, like for me, depending on your level and experience of Ironman, you're not really a runner. Like professional Ironman guys are doing 50 to 70 miles a week. They're
Hmm.
runners. Like these guys are crazy. But, if you're recreational, maybe you top out at 30, 40. like there's a lot more to running than 30, 40 mile weeks. It's, so
Totally.
many things in between. So yeah.
Totally. That's so cool to hear though. And it's super inspiring because I think what people don't understand about, and to your point about Ironmans, it's like an Ironman is amazing. It's such an amazing accomplishment, but it's so different from the marathon training block, the ultra marathon training block, like just a solid 50 miler, 50K, whatever kind of ultra marathon you're doing. It's so wildly different. And the volume is, I mean, it's matters more than anything. I
Have
mean,
you
I think
have you done a Ironman?
I've never done an Ironman.
No. Do you think you
I'm
do an
kind of
Ironman?
scared.
Oh, kind
I
of
don't
scared.
really know what
No.
it takes to do an Ironman.
First, you gotta want it. I mean, just like everything else, but it's
Yeah.
just like up to you. I mean, everybody kind of does it for a certain reason of like, oh, it's hard. Oh,
Hmm.
they want to suffer, or I need to like get into another addiction. It's like one of those
I
things
know.
where you gotta just dive into it, and you really gotta want it because if you half-ass it, you're gonna half-ass the training. You could DNF the race, and it's
Totally.
like, what's the point? And you also find out more about yourself, which I love about endurance because you're training. I mean, granted, we're in New York City and Jersey. We see, the running communities here are pretty diverse, where you're always going to see runners, and it takes the mental
Hmm.
stimulation off. But when you're out there alone training for Ironmans, 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hour bike rides alone, like it does something to you. Like it definitely
Yeah.
levels you up as a person if you want it. But if you don't want it, then it's like, oh, I'm going to go home and watch TV. So,
Yeah.
you know,
No, I get it.
yeah,
I definitely would. I feel like the last 2 years for me has been focused on doing new things. So like last year I did my first ultra and I was like, I jumped right in. I was like, I'm going
sick.
to do a 12 hour. And I mean, I guess that's like not really jumping right into based on who I'm talking to. But like for me,
Yeah,
that was jumping right in because I was like, I've never done anything more than a marathon. And I was like, well, a 50K seems cool. But if I'm going to do all this high mileage, like I really want to see what my capacity is. And that was what it was about. I was like, I just want to see what it will take for me to tap out. And it was like, I did
wow.
not tap out. It was just 12 hours straight. Of
How
course,
many
that was the
miles?
format. 67 and a half.
67.5 elevation.
Slight. It wasn't
Not bad.
anything crazy.
That's still
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, like people are going to argue this, and this is going to be a hot take, as I like to say. Ultras are way harder than Ironmans. I don't care what anyone says. Like a
Hmm.
12-hour time on feet nonstop is harder than an Ironman. It requires way more physical demand. We're talking joints, muscles, tendons than the swim, bike, and the run. Like, and
Hmm.
people can argue that, and I've done both. And it's like, are you competing at both, or are you just finishing both? There is a difference between running a Ironman and racing an Ironman versus the same thing with an ultra. But the
Totally.
amount of the amount of demand that it takes to have that time on feet, the pounding, the stress, the cortisol, the compression, that 12-hour is harder than an Ironman. Period. I don't care what people say, even though it's quote unquote half the distance. It's going to take way more out of your body and strength
Yeah.
in your quads and legs for you to actually keep going. So that's actually
Yeah.
very impressive. What do you
Oh,
think?
thank you.
What was the hardest thing for you?
I think I had never experienced, like, you have the highs and lows in a marathon distance, right? And of
Oh
course, you
yeah,
have
yeah,
moments
yeah,
where you're like, oh, it would feel really good to just not run the rest of this race.
yeah.
And it's much faster. And I think kind of taking a step back and slowing down from what I'm used to in the marathon. And my marathon time is not crazy, but like it's around 3:10. So I'm kind of cooking. There's work
That's
to do
more
there, but
than
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and then you have the ultra and my coaches are like, okay, you're going to really have to slow down. And I think that was the hardest part for me at it, like during the actual race,
Mhm.
because I didn't want to go out too fast. I was like
Right, right.
freaking out. I was so worried. And I was not able to have pacers until like 5 hours in, which was fine. Like it ended up being fine.
Yeah.
And I did really well. But then the hardest part, like after I overcame that, was just like hitting this mental block where I was like, I don't know how to keep going. I just like, I had never experienced it to that degree before. So I think that was really, really like, I had a pretty bad lap and a half at one
Dark
point.
moments of like you want to quit, or dark
Yeah.
moments of like just anxiety through the roof of like I'm out of
Yeah.
here. Yeah,
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 anxiety through the roof. And my coaches were actually,
yeah.
one of my coaches was pacing me, and I was like hysterical at one point, and I was like, I'm
Oh
so
crap.
embarrassed that you're seeing me cry. But you get over it,
Yeah.
and then by that time I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to stop now. I'm 55 miles in and I know that I want to tie the course record, so I'm going to do it.
Sick.
And you got to
Sick. That's
just
amazing.
overcome it. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's the thing. I mean, maybe you know, people talk about crying in races. That's just like your central nervous system kind of like just going through it, And if you can like
Yeah.
realize that, you're gonna be okay. So, and
Yeah.
I hate to say it, crying during an ultra or after an event, like I just saw Hans. Did you watch Western States?
I didn't.
Oh, so I love Hans. Obviously
Yeah. Yeah, of
he's
course.
amazing, but um, he DNF, I think it was mile 80, and he was crying. And it's like for
Mhm.
athletes to cry is like one of the most beautiful things ever. Like whether it's DNFing, finishing a race, or during a race, because you know how much they're putting out there, right? Their body is literally going through it of all of these emotions, and let alone all of the pressure that you put on
Mhm.
yourself and professional athletes put on themselves with cameras and sponsors in their face, making X amount of money to do this for a living. Like there is a different level of pressure that I think needs to be talked about when it comes to athletes, professional, recreational experience, X, Y, and Z, but it's a real thing. But I think it's beautiful for somebody to actually experience like you did, even though somebody can be like, oh, she cried, where it's like, dude, you have to experience it to actually know what's going on. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad
Yeah.
thing at all. It's awesome.
No, I was shot for sure. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
like, how do I keep going here? What do I have
Shot.
to
Yeah.
do?
Shot is
What
the
do I have
fucking
to
word.
do?
Shot is the
It was
word.
so
Yeah.
bad. It was so bad. All I could think about was the pain that I was going to be in after because I had never done it. So I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is going to be so shitty. Um,
Yeah.
but we made
That's
it.
fun.
We made it through. Made it through.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
all right, I'm going to backtrack for a second because I have so many questions about you're doing 12 ultras 12 months, right?
Yeah, so I've done last November was a I did 50K, 50K. So if you want to include in a year like 12 months,
Mhm.
last November, December, January, February, March. This April I took off because I had like an AFib situation. And then May
Mhm.
I just did like an unsanctioned one with like Andy Glaze and a bunch of people, still 31 miles, and then I raced last month. And then I'm just going to
Nice.
keep going and going and going. And a lot of people could be like that's stupid, where it's like I don't know about you, but I want to squeeze the sponge out of life. And I think the more experience that you get, and like I'm racing again this weekend, and I'm not tapering. Like I did
Mhm.
16 today, 17 yesterday, 12 on Monday, 25 on Sunday, 20 on Saturday. I'm going up until my race because the bigger picture is, 100Ks, 12K feet
Mhm.
elevation, Black Canyon. Like, I may not be the fastest, but I want to literally be the person that can recover the best, be the most durable, and be the strongest, not just start, but to finish. So the 12 Ultras is definitely just a goal that I was like, what am I capable of? And it's taught me so much so far. So yeah, we'll keep going and going. And then after that, I think my coach and I are like, it's time to pick 4 A races and
Mhm.
finish those races and be put in the hospital. But like go out, go like everything is all out. It's an all out effort.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
some races here you have to be strategic and they are training stimuluses. Like they're not, let's go for a PR, like
Right.
with 12K elevation, I'm not training for it in New York City. The stair stepper isn't giving me that. So those are just going to be experience, go out there and have a day kind of thing and learn something
Mhm.
new. So of course you're going to give it your best effort, but you're not going to literally kill yourself over a race that's not like a Black Canyon or Western States or Javelina or something like
Right.
that. So
Right.
yeah,
No, and I'm so with you on the like living life to the fullest and kind of squeezing the sponge. It's like I always say to people when I'm gone, nobody can ever say that I didn't do everything I wanted to do or like
yeah,
just live life to the absolute fullest. I You have to take advantage of these moments and I don't know, I'm just the kind of person that similar to you, like I just want to see what I'm capable of. And it's like I'm not a PR or ER kind of person. I hate when people say that personally, but like I will do something until my legs don't work anymore. So
yeah.
I guess it's kind of the same thing. But,
PRER.
you know,
I used to be that
yeah.
way, but that's such a stubborn ass mindset of like
I know,
people
I
that
know.
people that say, I'll die over this job where it's like I'm a CEO. Like I want
Yeah.
my employees to go have fun. Like you're not dying over this job because the reality is from my standpoint, I've
Mhm.
been an employer before and I've had employees like you're gonna get replaced. I hate to say it, but like the business
Mhm.
has to go on. So if you die, there goes a job on Indeed the next day, or you're hiring within the company. It's like, go
Yep.
have fucking fun. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
willing to, and people that say, and I hate this. It's like PR, like die trying. Sorry. It's going to be a hot take. I love my life. I'm not going to die over an ultra. I don't care if I'm making, and this is rare because there's no race where you're making $1 million in an ultra. I'm not willing to
Right.
die over an ultra. I'm not willing to die. Like, no,
Same.
I want to live until I'm 700 years old. Obviously not
Yeah.
possible. I love life. So I want to continuously just do more and have fun doing it and do the best that I can. Obviously do it healthy, give it my all. Sure, rhabdo is a thing and dehydration, you can end up in the hospital, but I'm not going to fucking die over something like that. It's
I
a
know.
stupid ass mindset. People can be like, oh, David Goggins so tough, where it's like, dude, no, like
Yeah, no, like
you don't have to be like that. So
I couldn't agree more. And I think it's like at a certain point I look at those people that have that mentality and I'm like, okay, well, at a certain point you have to have respect for your body and respect for what you're doing at the same time. Like I very much appreciate you having a goal, but I'm not going to die to gain a second at like the Boston Marathon, or I'm not going to die over an ultra, right? It's just like you have to also respect like where your body's at too. I feel like it's all part of the process.
100%, you said it best, and I was going to say that's all about it's about respecting yourself. And if you're not like respecting yourself, yeah, you're going to say stupid shit like that, where it's like,
Yeah.
come on, like it's
Like
stupid.
I'm not
So
gonna yeah, no passing out or, blacking out for an ultra or a marathon. It's
ignoring the chest
crazy.
pain, ignoring the dizziness. Like, no, like it's your
No,
body's telling you something. Respect it, listen to it, and take the loss if you DNF. Who cares? You did something
totally.
99.9% of people are going to do. And what are you going to care about? Somebody sitting on the couch that doesn't know you saying things over a fucking comment? It's like,
Yeah,
no,
it's so
I'm good.
dumb.
And people care
Yeah.
about that. That's why their egos get hurt. That's why it's like, oh, it's like, no, who
Mhm.
cares? It's
Mhm.
you versus you sport. And that's why I love ultras and running and stuff like that. I hate to say, team sports are great, but, if you can really be in tune with yourself and not care about what other people say, you're going
Yeah.
to thrive in this sport, period. So
Yeah. It's the best freedom that you'll have in this sport is like not
100%.
giving a single shit about what anybody else is saying and just making it you versus you,
Yeah, that's a big thing
you
for
know?
me, freedom. Yeah.
It's so wild. It's so wild. Do you have any favorite well, what are your favorites of the ultras you've done since November so far? And do you have any coming up that you're like particularly excited about?
So next year is Black Canyon, Javelina. I want to do Western States.
It's gonna be amazing.
I want to do Badwater. I want to go out there and compete, and those are the ones I'm looking forward to. This year, I hate to say it, like I have a race this weekend. I
Hmm.
leave tomorrow. I'm like, eh. I'm more excited about the training because I'm not tapering for this race, and I'm going to go into it with 80, 90 miles on my legs or something like that, and I'm just going to
Yeah.
go do another 50K with like 4K feet elevation, and the next day maybe do 20 miles. And it's like, what the fuck? Like that's how I train, but
Yeah.
any race that I was excited about, the first one, I did a 50 miler, like 6 hours, 20 minutes, which I should have done 5 hours, 50 minutes. I should have done 6 hours because I was worried because next 2 weeks I had a turnaround and then I had another
Hmm.
turnaround in 3 weeks after that. So it's like really hard to gauge how hard you're actually going and what your recovery is because you're not just going to take a week off and then go do a 100-mile week and then go into another ultra. So I was proud
Right.
of myself for that effort, but I should have pushed harder. I'll do Tunnel Hill this year, where I hope to do a 5 hour, 50 minute, 6 hour, 50 miler.
Awesome.
That'll be another one. That I'm kind of excited about that, but then again, it's like I'm not, like I'm falling in love with elevation again, where it's like I really want to, learn how to those courses are so technical of like you have to
Hmm.
learn how to climb, you have to train harder in the gym because you have way more stabilizers, you have to obviously know the downhills, way more pounding on your quads, you have to like it's way harder in my opinion. So I'm more
Yeah.
excited about that. I have 100K in August with like 12,000 feet of climbing, which will be exciting. That'll you know average time on that is like 12 hours, 13 hours, 14, 15 hours, all depending on
Hmm.
experience, of course. Pretty tough course. Favorites. Last I like the one last month. That was nice because I went out hot, got kicked to 12th place, twisted my ankle. Like I twist my ankles on all these fucking ultras. Like it's the worst thing ever. It's like you sprain your ankle.
Yeah.
And then I
Brutal.
just knew my strengths on the flats and came back and got second. It wasn't the best time, but like a thing about me is like I could be first or I could be last. My mindset is the same. I'm out there
Hmm.
pushing my body, enjoying it. You'll never see me getting down. I'm grateful to be out there. I've gone through so many things worse than this ultra, the pain that I feel. I know my strengths and all I had to do was just keep going. And I think the motto
Mm-hmm.
before that race, because I go to these races and it's like this, right? I drive to the course, get out of my car, I tie my shoes, I run, and I go home. I don't care if it's
Yeah.
in California. It's a quick land the day before, go do your thing, and you're out of there. So I was able
Yeah.
to like go there an hour early and just see like this waterfall. And I was like, this is so beautiful. Like I'm staring at buildings all day in New York City. I was like, you just got to keep moving. So like, I don't care if I was in 12th place. Like I just kept moving, know my strengths. And all of a sudden, like, oh, here I am at the front with like 20 miles left. And then boom, you just go. And I was like,
Yep.
that was awesome. Like it showed the resilience. It showed the patience. And the fastest guy, I hate to say it, on paper, isn't going to win an ultra. All of it, like these ultras are so tech. Anything could happen. Twist an ankle. They could
Mm-hmm.
burn out. Like there was guys that were going out in the front that were like 6:45 pace, and I was like passing them at mile 22, burnt out,
Yep.
like
Yep.
just walking. And I'm like, and if we look at the paper, they're faster than me. They're faster than 90% of the people out there, but it's about patience, about perseverance, it's about just being competitive. So I
Mm-hmm.
like that race, but it wasn't, again, like a Black Canyon, like everything that I'm doing. And people could be like, you're doing 12 ultras. That's awesome. And then you're going to look at a pro and be like, he's doing 12 ultras. They're not Leadville. They're not Black Canyon. They're not this. So the whole part of this year is to get the experience. And I hate to say it, this year is a little bit hard because my central nervous system is taking a beating because you can imagine 100-mile weeks to ultras to 100-mile weeks, like
Totally.
staying that consistent.
Totally.
So, you kind of callous your mind a little bit. And I've been really resilient with that. So I know next year when times get tough during races, I'm going to be completely fine. Of course, they're going to be
Yeah.
hard, but it's like you've been through tougher things. So looking forward to
Totally.
the future of like those bigger races. And then when I'm like 36 and like 37, I'm like, holy shit, I've done 50 ultras. Like I'm strong as shit.
Yeah.
And then just continuously competing. So,
Mm-hmm.
you're just kind of like
Totally.
compiling all these races and just being like a byproduct of them. So it's always about the future.
I
So
mean, it's amazing. I feel
yeah.
like that's how it should be. It should always be like, how can we get, it doesn't even have to be about getting better. It's just like, how can we keep going? How can we keep the discipline? How can we, convince ourselves that this is going to be a good thing and kind of stay on track? Like,
Oh yeah.
what's your self-talk like? I mean, I could tell, of course, from what you've said, but like when you're in, you don't really have lows, but how do you truly keep going when you have like 100-mile week?
I love it. It's an addiction.
I
So
know.
like it's
That's what I say all the
unfortunately
time.
like I've been like addicted to like really awful drugs before and like down at the
Hmm.
lowest point. Again, the lowest point's the doorway to your highest self. So for me, I'm wired to like a very addicted personality. I don't care if it's money, work, running. I'm
Hmm.
addicted and I absolutely love this. Like when you love something truly, like whether it's your work, you don't there's no second guessing. I've never second guessed myself during a race. I've had AFib anxiety before, when things are going on with your heart, that anxiety is just that uncertainty because you've never been down that path before and X, Y, and Z.
Hmm.
But when it comes to my running, my training, my nutrition, my sleep, those variables that you can control and you've just stacked so many days up, you're overly confident with anything. There's nothing that you
Hmm.
can't do. And then when you're in
Yeah.
a race, hate to say it, doubts creep into a point, but that's just your central nervous system like being absolutely fried or you're really pushing yourself. But again, you should be pushing yourself in training, and a lot of athletes aren't. So when they get to a race, those thoughts are really negative.
Totally.
I've been through worse that, my thoughts are completely dialed to a T. I meditate before races. Um, you're just the light within. And that's what I tell myself.
Yeah.
Like you've got to shine bright over the darkness because when that darkness comes, you've got to be that light within. So the
I love
self-talk
that.
is just obviously the confidence that you get from training. And you look at, we get on with my coach. My training is hard fucking training. Like he's a professional, ultra runner. Like those ultra runners are doing crazier shit than the marathon guys. And they're not even opening up their stats. But when you have it in, you're like, this is how you're actually training. And the thing is, like, I need to be training more. Like like you can always do more in life. Even if I'm averaging
Hmm.
100-mile weeks, I should be at 140. But because of all the ultras, like you really have to kind of balance life out a little bit. So next year will be the
Yeah.
year when I probably go up to like 120, 130. Obviously, everyone has a limit. What can I absorb? What can I do? How's my stats?
Hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. But the self talk is just the confidence that you get from training, running, and racing so much. And then from there, there's nothing that you can't handle. And then obviously, what you've been through as a kid, all that trauma, hate to say bullshit, but it's obviously affects endurance athletes and stuff. If you've overcome
Hmm.
X, you can overcome this. Like, and then you just put
Yeah.
it together. Like, there's nothing that can break you when you come down to it. So
Yeah. I mean, you said it perfectly. It's so true. Do you think that all of these things coming together? impacts your coaching style? Like when you have an athlete that, has maybe either been through similar things or maybe hasn't, but just is like not, I don't want to say not disciplined, but you have a new athlete who's like new to this or new to ultras. Like, what would your approach be? Like,
So
do
a
you
lot of
share all
yeah.
that?
So a lot of my man needs to. I'd say like 90% is marathon, 10% is ultras. But my
Mm-hmm.
ultra guys know, like when we get on a phone call, I'm very direct. Like these are my expectations. I am 24/7. I know some athletes I do say, hey, 9 to 5 is it, but when we have an ultra coming up, like I'm going to step in a little bit. I've paced at ultras before. I'm pacing my friend.
Mm-hmm.
No, I call my athletes friends. I'm not here to be like, this is it. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to pace him for his last man standing. He just did the BPN last man standing, but he had a little bit of gut issues. The pacers that were with him were shit. They were like drinking and they thought it was a party, but it's like,
Oh,
when it
yeah.
comes down to my ultra athletes, like I'm going to tell them like it is, like, but most importantly, I'm a coach that knows what the ultra is going to demand from you. So we train it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I practice to race. And that's what I give all my athletes. Like, if you're not doing double days, if you're not doing back to back long runs, if you're not absolutely going into peak week, being like, this is the hardest week ever, you're going to get to that ultra, it's going to punch you in the face. So
Yeah.
I give heat training to some of my guys in a sauna suit. Like I give double threshold. I practice what I preach because I know it
Mm-hmm.
works for me, and I know when we get to the ultra, it's what's going to happen. So a lot of the guys, they don't really have that kickback mindset. They know what they're signing up for. Obviously, if you're going to do an ultra, there's something wrong with you, as people would say. But no, you just want to be the best that you can, and that's what the training actually demands of you. Of course, though, every athlete is not getting that type of training because they're at different levels and they're at different paces, and a last man standing requires something different for a 100 miler and a 50K and X, Y, and Z. But a lot of my guys, they don't really have that mental brain fog, I would say. Some people
Mm-hmm.
text me and, work gets in the way and then we just adjust things. But other than that, no, like I really do pick and choose who I work with. I'm not a coach that's going to say, everyone get on the bus kind of thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
have time. I don't have time for that. And I don't want that because unfortunately, if people can call me an asshole, I'm very direct and I have big goals. I have big standards for myself and I set them higher for other people too. Like if someone's going to come to me and say, hey, let's do a 50K, I'm like, no, go do a fucking 50 miler. Like you
Yeah.
do, like you're not going to do that. Like you want to go for the fucking moon. So
Totally.
that's what I demand from my people because I demand it for myself, and I'm not going to babysit and sugarcoat things. And no, I don't have I don't have time for that. You either nut
It's
up
so
or you
true.
you either nut up or you shut up. And I know people are going to listen to this if you put it out and be like, he's an asshole. No, I'm direct. I just have very big
Yeah.
goals for myself and understand that if you want to do the work, it's going to take care of you. And if you don't, somebody else is going to take your spot, kick you out of the way, and you're going to regret it in 10 to 5 years.
Yeah.
That's the worst
I
feeling ever is regret. Sorry, like
totally,
not me. I
totally.
don't want that. So
No, and I respect that so much because I think, you know, I've had three different coaches. One was very much like
all
my
from
first
Jersey?
coach ever. Two from New York, one from Jersey, one from two from New York. um, now I have two coaches, both from
Two
New York.
coaches. What the hell's going
Um,
on? What are you training for? The Olympics? Must
I
be training for the
wish.
Olympics. Holy fuck.
I wish. But my first coach was like, I would say a goal, and he'd be like, "Yeah, like that's not gonna happen at like this race." And I was like, "Well, fucking watch me." And
Yeah.
it was like clockwork. It was, and I don't mean to come across like I have a cocky attitude, but it's like,
No, it's fine.
don't. First of all, the first thing is like, don't tell me that I can't do something, because
Right.
because it's gonna make me want to do it more. And it's also like you
That's a good mindset.
on paper, it was like the numbers were numbering and it was making
Numbering.
sense. And I would go out and I would do a run and I would feel amazing. And I'm like, I know I have this in me. And he's like, no, you can't do that. So like I've had coaches like that. And then I had another coach who was great, but it was just like there was no there was not much direction to the point where like I was like, I want you to kick my ass. Like I want you to give me something that's gonna challenge me and not just the cookie cutter plan that the run club is using for their
Fucking
athletes. Like
good
I'm
God,
paying
Rana.
you. You know what I mean? Like I'm paying
Yeah.
you. Give me one to one. So I respect your approach to it so much because it's like athletes want that. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
you sign up for it and I'm paying you to help me, reach a goal, whether it's reach a goal or just hit mileage, whatever it is, like why even get a coach in
Yeah.
the first place if you're
Yeah.
not going to try? That would piss me off so much.
I am a coach that's going to say I'm very analytical, and I will say
Mm-hmm.
if an athlete says I need to cut my marathon time by 30 minutes in 3 months, I'm going to say no. Like if an athlete comes to me and says, because I do full service coaching, I'm not just a run coach, like also have
Totally.
nutrition, dietitian, that kind of stuff, and it's very
Mm-hmm.
important because a lot of run coaches they don't know what their athletes are eating, right? So they're going to increase their volume, gonna get injured. Hey, what are you eating? 1,800 calories. Fuck, I should have never increased your volume. Like,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, we could talk. That's a different off the podcast topic. But um, if an athlete says, I need to lose 60 pounds in 4 or 5 months, I saw my friend do it on Instagram. I'm like, dude, it's not, you're, you're literally going, like, you're completely starving yourself in an unhealthy way. Could you do
Mm-hmm.
it? Yes, but I'm not going to be the one for you because I'm not
Yeah.
going to be liable for what could happen if your heart kicks out and you get a stress fracture. Like athletes are very ambitious in a good way, and a lot of athletes are wired like that. You're an athlete for a reason. At the same time, it's like you have to be realistic, like, but yeah, you have to get pushed. Like something that runners not going to do. Like coaches need to push you, and they need to. I
Mm-hmm.
hate to say this because it's going to sound so bad. They need to tell you when you're fucking wrong. They need to tell you when you're slacking off and be like,
Yep.
do you actually fucking want this or not? Go to
Mm-hmm.
this race, win this race. Let's readjust the schedule and fucking compete. Because if not, if you really want first place, there's somebody out there training twice as hard as you, but you're drinking on the weekends and you're missing
Mm-hmm.
runs. Like that's what you need to do. That's what I do, and that's what
Yeah.
I get as well. Like I need that type of tough love. That's how I was raised, and that's how sometimes these marathons and ultras are going to kick you in the face. Tough love.
Yeah.
And if you don't
Yeah.
respond to it, well, sorry, it's just not for you. Like I know it sounds
Yeah.
tough, I know it sounds awful, but it's life.
It is.
It's
No,
hard.
it is.
So
It very much is. I feel like it's why my coaches right now are so perfect for me. Because it's a very good tough love. Like
yeah,
I like thrive in that environment. I'm like, please tell me if that was a shitty work. Like you like tell me
yeah,
because I could look at something and be like, yeah, I felt like shit. That was really hard. But like, could I have pushed more? And like, unless they're kicking me in the ass and being like
yeah,
you could have done 10 times better, you know what I mean? Like it takes me a
yeah.
minute to get there, and I just respect them so much for being like hard asses sometimes about it, and in the best way. I don't mean that in a negative at all. Like it's the
No, I
best
mean
form for me. Maybe it doesn't work for other people, but it works
that
for me.
that's the thing. Some people cannot respond to tough love. They'll break down and cry. And it's hard
Mm-hmm.
because it's how I was raised. And it's just like that's how I kind of practice what I preach. I'm very direct. I'm not going to tell you that you're rich when you're actually in 100K in debt. Like, no, you're fucking broke. Like, that's what people need to
Yeah.
hear. Like, you look at stats
Yeah.
and be like, oh, heart rate was 150. Why wasn't it 170 at a threshold and your max heart rate's 180? It's like, left more on the table. And like
Mm-hmm.
Matt called me out the other day. He's like, what the fuck's up with this elapsed time? This was yesterday actually, because
Mm-hmm.
I wore a new belt because I was testing it for my race and it was cutting me. And I was like so pissed off. I just fucking threw it. And I was like, just stopping at the water stations because I was like, yesterday it was like 90 degrees. I had a double threshold and I was like, I need water. Like I'm spitting white. I'm like, I know I'm dehydrated. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, I don't fucking care. Like you finish it and then you get it after. And I was like, okay, next time, next week, I better, it was on me. And that's what I needed. And I'm like, fuck, you're right. It's like, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing
Yeah.
to actually know.
Yeah.
So yeah, because sometimes you need as much as accountability is on the individual. There's some
Mm-hmm.
times in sports that you do need it from your team. Like, yeah, running is such an individualized sport, but there is a team component to it that not a lot of people talk about. Coaches, dietitian, nutritionist, your strength
Mm-hmm.
training coach. And then, of course, if you're getting paced, that team in your environment, show me your friends, show me your future kind of thing is extremely important. And that's where that team aspect comes into it, which is amazing. So if you have that
Totally.
external, accountability along with that internal, an athlete is unbreakable, and if
Yeah.
everybody flows and perfectly, oh, it's the best thing ever. And not a lot of
I
people have
know.
that, but once you experience it, sky's the limit. You really start to like have that breakthrough moment, not only running, but also mindset. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit, you just take off.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's special. It's so special. And speaking of, this just made me think of it. Tell me about Team Keep. So I feel like from the outside and what it looks like when I was looking into it, it just feels like more, again, more than coaching. And I don't want to speak for you. I don't want to make it seem like I think that this is your goal, but like just from my perspective, I was like, this feels like a way of approaching training and life like at the same time, which is obviously what a lot of our conversation has been about. But what was it for you that like encouraged you to start Team Keep and kind of, build that over time?
Yeah, so that was basically, I mean, marketing is a big thing for everyone, right? Whether we talk about coffee, Nike, whatever it may be. So like it's all personal branding. So obviously Kaufman, still at
Yeah.
that's where Keep comes from, if you look into it. Obviously for me, I'm a big writer. I have a book coming out after this year. It's basically this is the last chapter, which is like the Ultra Project. So with Keep, I have a nutrition line coming. I have a lot of stuff coming that is obviously I
So
don't want to
cool.
talk about. I have apps coming, obviously my book. I do want to do a movie in the future just because of my backstory with how I was raised and everything that I've been through. Like it's just completely out of this world. Like I'm even lucky to be alive, honestly. Like that's something off topic we can talk about where I can talk about
Hmm.
it here. I don't really care. But, in the next 5 to 10 years, I really want it to skyrocket. So I'm just building that, obviously through coaching. My coaching is very scientific. It's very data based. It's very full service. It's not just here's a run. Like everything is against the grain. I don't do 10 by 400s. I'm not that kind of fucking coach. If you want that, you can go somewhere else. Like I'm giving things that I use from my professional coaches throughout the years that are just like against the grain. So then obviously with that comes like a bigger brand. I have nutrition coming out, books. Like I just want to formulate it into like this massive one-stop shop. And then of course I have apps coming out. And there's a couple of brands that I'm not really a fan of in the nutrition space. So it's obviously about being competitive with them and seeing, there's problems, there's solutions, right? Like the way that I started my marketing agency was, years ago was there's problems, there's solutions. Like this
Hmm.
is why I'm going to open this and it flourished. Like it just took off. Then there's problems, there's solutions within like, let's just say nutritional companies and supplement companies and clothing brands that, if you want to build something personal, there you go. Right. Not saying it's going
Totally.
to take off. I don't care if it makes $10, which is obviously bullshit, right? A business has to make money, but or 100 million, or if I want to go do something else. But that's the next plan in the next like 5 years and stuff. So obviously all of these ultras and trying to become like a pro ultra runner is building that brand and that endurance. And whatever I talk about, I really live, whether it's through my training and through the nutrition that I use that I'm building, the clothing that I kind of use and everything like
Hmm.
that. So it's kind of like a bigger aspect to things of stepping stones, I should say. But obviously, it's not like full blown. You click on the website, here's everything. Now it's just like articles so far. I don't really give too much information, and I add to it as ultras come out, or if I like to write and I have time to write, but my schedule's so busy that I really can't even sit down for 2 hours and find time to write. It's like one of
Right.
those
Right.
things. So that's pretty much
Oh,
everything to it.
that's super cool.
Yeah.
Super, super cool. Are you able to talk about your book at all? You don't have to. I don't want to pressure you.
So it's, I mean, like, it's just my upbringing, which no one really knows about, of like
Hmm.
divorced parent. I was abused for 13 years, like morbidly
Oh my
obese,
God.
divorced parents. They filed
I'm
for
so sorry.
bankruptcy. Dad used to hit my mom. Like, I used to get abused, locked in the basement. Like, wouldn't go to school, like one of those things where it's really dark. I mean, I'm not even going to dive into it. Then I turned to drugs at like a very, very young age because obviously
Hmm.
I needed to hide from stuff. And I was addicted at 16 to like Xanax and weed. And nobody knew because I was also like an athlete, but at the same time, very functional. And then obviously that kind of leads you down this path. So it's very dark, but it's my life and why I do all of the things that I do and why I don't really take no for an answer or give a shit. Like obviously I've been through way worse that nothing is ever going to affect me. And I have all of these experiences to like give back. So it basically talks about me through a fiction, like obviously me, but like a different character. And then
Hmm.
it unfolds, going into 18 and like there's so many other things that happened. And then the last chapter will be the Ultra Project because I just turned 30. So I wanted to kind of close that chapter out and then kind of get into stuff, other books and stuff like that. So I mean, it's 211 pages right now. Seven's my favorite number, so there's only 6 chapters so far. Seven's going to be my last chapter. There's so many things to talk about. Obviously the chapters are very long with pages and stuff, but there's so much to talk about it. I'm actually super proud of that because writing helps my anxiety.
Hmm.
And it's one of the things where I could just really, I hate to say it. I love social media, but I hate it. I can unplug from the world, shut both my phones off, go into my actual office at home, write,
Hmm.
light a candle, and I'm just in this different world. And it's just, I've read 100 books throughout my life. So for me, I love to read, right? You kind of
Hmm.
take all of these books that you've read, all of your favorite authors, and you kind of combined everything. And it's like certain books, right? I'm sure if you've read a couple books, you're like, wow, this really resonated with me. I love the way that this author, is able to connect with me. And then you read other books and you're like, damn, that didn't really hit me that hard. So
Right.
it's like you kind of take like what you actually love to read about and what authors, and you study them and you kind of just compile your own book itself into like something that you've loved to read. And then
Yeah.
that'll come out. Obviously I have to work on publishing and stuff. I may self do it myself. It all depends on pricing and bullshit. But
Yeah.
obviously it's not to make money, it's more to build your personal brand. Like that's a stepping stone. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you look at
Yeah.
anybody else that's done that stepping stone, they're not doing it. Oh, here's a book. I'm gonna go buy a mansion. No, like you're not.
I know.
It's really just to put out free information, have people connect with you. And the whole part of that book is also feeling, wow, I'm dealing with this, but people are going through things that are worse, right? Like whatever I've gone through, somebody has gone through things 10 times worse. So it's, able for you to see things in your perspective and be like, oh, if they could do it, I can do it, right? That's the whole part of like getting into ultras. Like if somebody ran 100, you can run 100. Like there's no limits to what
Hmm.
anybody can do. And reading books sometimes allows you to open up with that or going to ultras. And I'm sure you've connected with some people in your ultras of like, I connected with one guy out in Arizona, lost both his kids, lost both his sons, and he's just, I don't want to say broken, but he's just on his own journey. And that happened
Hmm.
this year in January. I went, and obviously in March, but he lost both of his sons and his wife in a car
My
crash
goodness.
in January. And he was like,
Shocking.
I needed to do this ultra. And I ran a couple miles with him. His name is Keith, and I was like, holy fuck. I was like automatic. I was like, I've been through this, but I can't even imagine him going through this at
Hmm.
50 years old too. I mean, like, not saying your life is over or anything like that, but you've built a life, a family, and it's just taken away like you from like,
Yeah.
I was just going through it while I was running and I was like, I love ultras. Like I was like, I hate to say it, like people go there and have the craziest stories ever. So whatever I've been through, people can resonate with and be like, oh, okay, it's not really that bad, and I answer all my DMs, all my emails from TikTok, and like I try and help people the best that I can. So if I can actually, people read my book and reach out to me, like try and help them, of course. And then of course I want to get into speaking. I want to kind of travel to do that. Like that's the next steps because nobody has really helped me through anything in life. Like whether it
Hmm.
was the parents thing, addiction thing, weight loss thing. I'm the only child, so I did everything on my own. I'm a very big introvert. As much as you'd be like, no way. I love being alone. I love doing things on my own. Like I love people too, don't get me wrong, but I thrive in my own world.
Hmm.
So, you
Hmm.
know, the speaking thing and like the helping thing is my really biggest like passion and commitment that I want to do for like the rest of my life. And that's why I started my TikTok last year of just posting one video a day. And I don't care if some topics are controversial or some topics really help people. Everything I put out is going to resonate with one person. If you could change
Yeah.
one person's life, you could change 1,000. If you could change 1,000, you could change 10,000. There's no limit. And then if I could change 1,000,000, that would just be so fulfilling. Like I could die.
Yeah.
I'm already happy, but if I were to die tomorrow, I go out like this is the best life I've ever had ever. Let's see what's next in the afterlife kind of thing. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
regret that. So
Yeah.
that's the whole stepping stone process. I know that was like a long uh
No,
you know,
I
yeah,
thank you for sharing
formula, but
first.
yeah, of
I
course. Yeah.
and happy birthday. I also just turned 30. So we're
Oh yeah,
birthday
when?
twins. June 15th.
Oh, I'm in March. I'm a Pisces.
Oh.
I'm not diving into that fucking
No,
what do
you
you call it?
we do
Horoscope
not need
bullshit,
to.
but
First of
like
all,
yeah,
I
no.
don't know anything about horoscopes, so I would be the last person you would probably want to talk to, but
Yeah.
I very much appreciate you sharing all of that. And
Yeah.
it's when we started this conversation and even in the pre-show, I could literally just tell that you were the type of person that was going to help others and change others' lives. And I don't mean to sound cliche. I genuinely mean that. Like,
I appreciate
you
that, yeah.
know a good person when you're talking to them, and you know a person who is motivated to help others. And to your point, it's like you went through some really horrible shit, and you say that people have been through worse, but like maybe there's your story resonates with them and vice versa. So
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I think it's so, I love talking with people who, and I know it sounds bad to say out loud, so please don't take it that way, but it's like
No.
you're taking this trauma and you are using it to help others. And I think there's no better form of therapy than doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just
For sure,
amazing. I
yeah,
don't,
yeah.
I hopefully that came across the right way, but that's genuinely what it feels like from the
I,
outside.
I've been through like I hate to say I've been through everything you can think of,
Yeah.
minus I hate to say rape, but no, obviously I've been through everything. It's
Yeah.
like everything, and we could talk about outside of this, whatever, or we can actually, if you want to ask, cool. But when it comes down to it, people are like, "What do you run for?" And it's like, no one know, like very few people know of it, like actual everything from A to Z.
Hmm.
Just my ex girlfriend and one of my friends, and my therapist, and that is it. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
very closed person. It's like, why do you run? Where it's like, or why do you post one TikTok a day? It's like, you don't need to know, but this is the most fulfilling thing for me ever. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is it, like, and that is like, I found my path. Like I'm a byproduct of all of that. And this is what it's led me to. And I would go
Mm-hmm.
back and do it all again because I learned from it. It's built me up to who I am, the consistency, the discipline. I've seen right from wrong in very extreme cases. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and try and answer all my DMs. I love it. Like, I love people. I love connecting with people. The only time I don't is like when people really complain. I've never once complained in my life. Like, for me, I don't care if I was 100K in debt starting my business. I've never complained. I knew I was going to figure it out. I don't care if
Yeah.
I was in pain during an ultra. Our pain thresholds are different from other people. So what? You're in
Mm-hmm.
pain. Just finish the race. Like, it's like that. Like, if people continuously complain and make excuses, that's why I'm like, I can't really help you, dude. And I'm out of here. I'm not going to waste my time. But anybody
Yeah.
that's willing to learn, willing to like put in the work or share their story, I'll listen. And that's what I love. People on the West Side Highway, I'd be like, I love your videos, Morning Coffee. I'll always exchange my number with them. Like, I've met some of my like good friends from exchanging numbers. Like, I've gone out with people like Vin and stuff like that. Like, that's amazing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that is the community itself is like really coming together because of what people have been through. And like, yeah, you kind of figure out your own trauma and deal with it through like therapy, whether it's running, helping people, but it's the best thing ever. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
literally free therapy. Like,
No, totally.
seriously. So
Totally.
yeah,
I love that. I love that you have found your things, whether it's writing, reading, running, coaching, and all of the things. I think
yeah.
it's incredible. It's incredible.
It's all different addictions in the brain. That's all it is, right? It's all
Yeah.
how you kind of channel different and self-inflicting serotonin and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
and dopamine and like what really gets you excited in life, and it's
Yeah.
like kind of like figuring out everybody is obviously different and that's just kind of the person I've become because the Justin at 18 is not the Justin now. The Justin at 40 is not going to be the Justin now. I'm going to continuously add to what I'm doing. It's like people have different needs and wants. And right now in life where I am present with myself, these are my needs, my wants as extreme as they are. And that's just me. So
You can't, nobody can complain about you just being you. I mean, they
seriously.
will, but they
And
have
if
no
they
right
do,
to. So fuck
honestly,
them.
fuck them. That's exactly, you took the words out of my mouth. Like a big fuck you, get out of my face. Like, that's like
Yeah.
my
Like
favorite
just
thing to
save your
say.
comments. Yeah.
Like,
I
seriously.
know.
Oh my
I
fucking
know.
God. I
I
could,
could not agree more. Well,
anyway.
I guess to wrap this up, I have two more questions if you're okay with that.
As many questions as we need. My DoorDash is on the way. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. What are you getting?
Pliables. I have like a serious
Nice.
addiction, like 2 times a day. I love it. I mean, like
Oh, it's so
carbs,
good.
easy. It's so
Yeah.
fucking good. Plus,
So
it's like
good.
100 fucking degrees out and I just ran
It's
again. So I'm like,
disgusting. Yep.
it's
Yep.
time to go for a run.
Yep. Exactly. Well, for anybody listening, what is either some of the best advice somebody's given you that you can pass forward, or what advice coming from you would you give to like new runner, seasoned runner, or just anybody?
Well, something that applies to everything is the work will always take care of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care what it is in life. If you're a salesman, you do 100 calls today. If you're a runner, you run today. If you're a auto mechanic, you work on that car today. Whatever work is in front of you, you need to do right now because it's going to compound. And with that consistency, you will be successful. There is no denying that. There is no doubting yourself. If you want to go start up social media right now, look at my TikTok, look at everybody, post once or 5 times a day. Do the work. The work is just posting.
Mm-hmm.
It is so simple and you need to do the one thing. The one thing is literally doing the work because people avoid that and complain about it and then realize why they're not losing weight, why they're not getting a lower heart rate, why they're not making more money. It's because
Mm-hmm.
they're avoiding the work because they want to go fuck off on the weekend. Well, guess what? The work is not going to do that for you. Fucking off on the weekend is not going to make you rich. Sorry.
Yeah.
So like the work itself will always take care of you and you can never avoid it. And if you could just sit with that and enjoy the work, I don't care if it's 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, you will be financially free. You will be the best runner possible. You will have the best family possible, right? Relationships take work. Kids
Mm-hmm.
take work. You just have to be present and keep going and everything else will follow. The work will always take care of you. And people don't realize that. But for me, somebody that's had to see the work through and through and through, it's the formula. That's
Yeah.
it. It's
I love
cliche,
that.
it's boring, but people
No,
don't
that's great
understand it.
advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
So
I can't even tell you how many times, and no shade to the people around me, but they'll be like, how do you get up and run again the next day when you just ran for 3 hours yesterday or you ran for 4 hours yesterday?" I'm like, I just love it. I just
yeah.
love doing it because I know in a week when I have to do it all over again, it's going to feel 10 times easier, and I'm just going to kind of coast. And that just, it just all comes down to the consistency and the discipline.
It's the work, you know. Like I hate when people look
Mm-hmm.
ahead at their final surge and be like, "Oh, what do I have in 2 weeks?" Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Today's
It's
12
today,
miles.
today,
Like, what do you
in
like?
10 minutes. Like, you know,
It's like, and then people think about their future, where it's like we can say anything about our future. You don't know when your last day is, dude. You like sit
mm-hmm.
with your now. And why are you thinking about your past? Yesterday's run has no effect on today. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, for like, I hate when people dwell on the past. It's going to get you depressed. It's going to give you future anxiety. Just focus on the work at hand, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could block everything else out and really focus, so many more people would be successful. So many more people would have what they actually wanted to. And it's really
Mm-hmm.
about blocking everything else out, which is social media and all the distractions. Because if people can't block
Totally.
out the distractions during their work, they're not going to be able to actually do the work itself. So
Totally.
that's like a big thing for our society that people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
I
though,
know.
social media is an addicting thing, like all
You got
these
to
other
lock
things are
in.
addicting. You gotta fucking lock in. You better throw the key away for fucking 5 to 10 years too. And if you think it's gonna take you a year, don't even
No,
start. It's a waste of time.
lock in. I
Nothing
know.
is in a year. So yeah, it's my best advice.
It's good advice. It's good advice. And lastly, you said earlier you love running hot takes, or you love hot takes. Do you have another hot
Oh, here we
take you want
go.
to share?
I have so many. I have
Give
so
it to
many.
me. Give them to me.
Oh my God, dude. If you go to my TikTok, there's so many hot takes. I could talk a lot of shit right now, but like the hybrid athletes that take steroids, I've started this debate before, like all the BPN people, and I've called them up and we've made ways. There's certain people in the industry that are not natural. There's
Mm-hmm.
certain athletes that have gotten caught by WADA that are still competing and hold 100-mile records that are
Mm-hmm.
not natural. If people think that you're going to be able to look like Nick Bear while running and say that you're natural, they're fucking lying to your face. So that is a big hot take because people just want to look a certain way and have a certain speed when it's drugs. And if people think professionals aren't taking drugs, I guarantee you right now, if you Google marathoner, somebody just got caught this past weekend for EPO or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not at the professional level. If you look it up, there's 18-year-olds at NCAAs that are running sub 4 miles taking EPO. That's a very hot take that no one wants to talk about. And
Mm-hmm.
90% of these athletes at the professional level are not natural. I don't care if they pass drug tests. This is a business, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand at that business level, there's people that are paid millions. There's doctors in the lab right now that are cooking things up. There's been documentaries on it. So for you to say that somebody can run a sub 2 marathon, I believe, and this is going to be the hottest take ever. That athlete, I forget his name, is going to get busted in the next 5 years for drugs.
Oh yeah.
I know it sounds
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Adidas planted him to make more money, to drive more profit, to drive more product. And those two athletes are going to get caught in the next 5 to 10 years, and I'll bet money on it. Just
Mm-hmm.
like Lance Armstrong was planted, and he had doctors behind the scenes to obviously push everything that they were pushing. Barry Bonds, like you name it. That's a very hot take, and people will not fucking die on it. There's athletes that I'll show you after this that are saying that they're running a 2:30 marathon with
Mm-hmm.
190 pounds of lean muscle mass, but they gained 30 pounds of muscle in 4 years, lowering their body fat. That is not genetics. That is performance
Yeah.
enhancing drugs that people are not willing to talk about. So that's a hot take. Zone 2 is a hot take for a lot of new runners. Heart rate is like, if you're a new runner, you don't need to care about zone 2 and heart rate. You need to run consistently at an easy effort for 6 to 8 months. And then from there, you can dial everything in. Like people
Mm-hmm.
want a quick and easy fix. And that's why I brought up the steroids. That's why I brought up the actual zone 2 heart rate and stuff like that. Yes, zone 2 is crucial for elite runners because at 140-mile weeks, 120, it is not sustainable. But there's athletes out there that maybe you've seen, what's her name? Alicia. She runs like a 2:35 or something with
Oh
Saucony.
yeah. Yep.
She
Yep.
does like 40-50 mile weeks of like zone 3, and she's gotten fast as shit, and she cross trains the rest of the miles.
Mm-hmm.
She's a prime example. Like the lower the miles, the better you can get away with speed work and recovery. So it's like you don't always need zone 2, but of course at a certain mileage, yes, you need zone 2. But a lot of runners are trying to force that, and obviously they're not forcing consistency and they quit. So it's like
Yeah.
there's so many hot takes. Like if you go to my TikTok, so many have gone viral just because of it. You know, it's like you don't need gels, use maple syrup, and people are like, gels are amazing. Like you don't need gels. You can use
I
other
was
things
using
for
maple
fucking
syrup all
yeah. Like
last training cycle.
you can use, and let's be honest with you, I hate to say it, this is the truth. Behind the scenes, these companies are starting brands using the purest ingredients ever, and then what they're doing, they're getting the cheapest shit. They're getting lawsuits. Look at Element
Yep.
changing, obviously, what they did. Why? It's
Yep.
all about money. These companies only care about that. So they're going to start a brand and they're going to be great. That's what I noticed with Cadence. I loved Cadence when they first came out. No,
Me
no stomach
too.
issues. I've noticed recently I get heartburn. Why is that?
Hmm.
Nothing's changed in my diet. Nothing changed in my weight, my water, nothing. I guarantee you they change things up. And that's just the truth. And supplement brands could say, no, we don't do that. Of course, because you're going to get a lawsuit. But there's been
Hmm.
companies like Element, David Barr, right? They lie about their ingredients. You cannot
Hmm.
trust these people behind the scenes because it's all about this. It's all they care about. So we
It's
could
crazy.
honestly talk about this for 10 fucking years and I'll back it up with facts.
It's so
Sorry. I could
crazy.
talk about this
No, do
forever.
not
But
apologize.
yeah.
This is why we talk about it, because
Yeah.
it's a hot topic. These are so many hot topics. And I think, to your point earlier and from your first hot take, it's like nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk
Yeah.
about it. So
I've
why
I've
not?
called so many people. I've called so many people out, and the whole BPN community like lashed back with me. I don't give a fuck what they say. Lucy Davis, Luke Hopkins, and I did a call. Sure, he's natural now. Like Nick Bear.
Hmm.
Oh my god, you're telling me Nick Bear is natural? Like I've
It's
had
crazy.
BPN people that live in New York City, and I'll call him out because I don't like him. Dan Churchill come up to me and stop me on a bicycle and be like, I don't really like the video you made. My boss is natural. I had to look him in the eyes and say, you think Nick Bear is a lifetime natural? No.
No.
I will bet any amount of money and die on that. He's released his blood work before where he had 100 testosterone and all of his blood work was jacked up. Why? Why is that?
Yeah.
With that amount of muscle mass, there's a problem.
Hmm.
Yet people in that community, because I hate to say it, very cultish, and people are going to cancel me for saying this. It's the truth. He's all of a sudden pushing God and stuff. Why? I called this out in a video to profit off of a different community, but I also think that behind the scenes, he hit rock bottom. He either had a
Hmm.
steroid scare or he cheated on his wife, and that was talked about many times online that people want to cover up those comments. You can't tell me Nick Bear is natural. And Nick Bear is not Nick Bear without his size and strength due to PEDs. Because there's so many other people better than Nick Bear that don't look like him, and it's all about perception is reality and looking a
Hmm.
certain way because of using PEDs. And that's why he's successful. Period. And
Yeah.
we could die on that stone. Talk
Hmm.
about it for days. And I've had,
Yeah.
when that video came out and I haven't released it yet, I've had people DM me about Lucy, that known Lucy, that told me what she was taking along with Nick, but I haven't released that yet. Of course, it's a he said, she said, but I've gotten on the phone with people and I have screenshots. But I'm not going to
Hmm.
be that guy because the videos already went viral. And guess what? I know in my heart what's right and wrong because I've been in endurance
Yep.
sports and I've known of this for so long, not only just by looking at from the outside, talking to professional doctors that have worked with athletes before that have administered performance enhancing drugs, because obviously, I know certain people that work with like the Mets and that, like, it is a fucking business that is not the
Yeah.
MLB alone. Like,
Yep.
it is a third party business that people do not understand.
Yeah.
It's the truth. It's the
Yeah.
truth. So I will end the
It's
conversation with that.
great
So
hot takes. Thank you for sharing.
sorry. Like,
Do not apologize. This is I
absolutely fired up because you
do
have
not
those people competing
apologize.
in you have those people competing in Ironmans
Hmm.
against age groupers that are natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're gonna check an Ironman box that says I'm natural, but Ironman's not going to test them. Yet they're on YouTube saying that they're taking TRT and performance enhancing drugs. And then you have somebody like Dan
It's
Churchill
so
that's going to say,
mind-boggling.
when he stopped me, he was like, "Oh, but you don't know if Nathan is natural now." But there's a video of him saying that he's on TRT and taking performance enhancing drugs the month before he goes out to do an Ironman. So you're siding with Nathan. You're an absolute fucking idiot. I hate Dan.
Yeah.
I will talk straight to his face about it because obviously the things that we've exchanged before, I just don't like him. I just don't like.
Hmm.
It's the truth. Like, how are you going to go on YouTube and compete in Ironmans and say that you're on testosterone and all these PEDs, yet be able to do Ironmans against age groupers that are natural, that spend so much time training, that can't even fucking recover, can't even do half the things that you do with your size, and DM you and be like, "Hey, bro, how are you this size? Oh, buy my meal plan for $1,000. You'll be exactly like me."
It's a
There's a
scam.
reason why there's a reason why those coaches have no client results and their clients don't even look like that. There's a
Hmm.
reason. And I'm going to leave
Hmm.
off as that. So I
Yeah.
fucking absolutely hate it. It's the worst. That is a scam
I know.
industry and it needs to be stopped ASAP, but nothing's going to stop it because obviously social media is a currency and people will keep
Mm-hmm.
buying into it. So
It's
that's
exactly
basically
right.
that. Yeah.
It's sad. It's so sad. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, thank you for sharing. On a happier note, or a less controversial note, not that I thought it was controversial, because I agree. I think it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But where can everybody follow along with you if you want to share? You don't have to share your
Yeah.
socials, but if you want to share, feel
I'm
free.
very sarcastic, so I was gonna say something funny, but it's just morning coffee on Instagram and TikTok is like morning because morning was taken, so it'll
Yeah.
come up if you just like Google it and stuff. I just don't give out my government name because I don't care, and people call me Coffee anyway, so
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Well,
But I'm not giving out my numbers. Somebody's texting me.
hell no. Do not do
Fuck
that.
that.
I would
Fuck
never
that.
ask
I
that.
know.
Never, ever,
Yeah.
ever. I would never ask that. No, well, Justin, or Coffee, and now I'm going to call you Coffee because you said it's
Big A,
okay.
AG,
Uh,
AG.
Big
You got too
A,
many nicknames.
AG,
Big A,
Big Al.
Allie, Alex, Big L. That's
Everyone calls me Big Al.
Do you know Big Al from she died. She was like that housewife. She had that deep ass
Oh,
voice.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like
Big
she smoked a lot
Al.
of cig. I gotta send
Yeah.
you her thing because yeah, that's a good nickname. But
Big
obviously she
Al.
was like 400 pounds, I think. She was pretty big.
that's,
Yeah,
that's
so
so crazy. Well, thank you for sharing everything that
of
you
course.
shared with us today. I appreciate
Awesome.
you so much. Appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed your time on the pod. This was great.
Everyone's got an hour. Yeah, of course. I'd love to do it again. Obviously go for runs, meet up. Like I'm all for it. You're an absolute beast. So
Please.
we've got a lot to
You too.
more than an hour. I'm sure we can chat for like fucking 10 years. So like
Yeah,
it was good.
100%. A
It was a
hundred
good hour.
percent. No, you're the best. I appreciate you so much, and I will hopefully see you in New York very soon.
Hopefully, yeah, tell Live Nation to
Yeah, to
get you
get me
moving
over
over
there.
here.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right. I
quick,
will.
quick ferry trip, 40 minutes.
Yeah, no
Nothing,
problem.
nothing, nothing crazy.
No, it'll happen sooner or later, but I will see you so
Yeah,
soon. And thank you again, Justin.
awesome. You're the best.
All right, Ali G Show fam, that's a wrap on today's track. Huge thank you to Kaufy for coming on the show and sharing his story, his perspective, and so much valuable insight, and for being really open and honest with us about the things that he's been through and how he got to where he is today. So whether you're training for your first race or chasing a big endurance goal, I really hope this conversation reminds you that success comes from showing up and staying consistent and trusting the process. If this track resonated with you, take that energy with you into your next run, walk, workout, or whatever challenge is in front of you this week. Don't forget to subscribe to the pod, rate it, share it with a friend who might enjoy it. It truly helps the show grow. You can find me on Instagram at @the_Ali Show, and be sure to follow along with Justin at Morning Coffee to keep up with all the miles ahead. As always, keep moving with purpose, keep chasing joy, trust the process, and remember, you are never running alone. I will catch you all on the next track of the Ali G Show. Bye.